Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all so much for being here. Our team is lucky enough to work with ValleyStar Credit Union this year for our capstone project. Our project focused on reducing application time and increasing approval rates for ValleyStar's online account opening process. To begin, we'll start with introducing ourselves.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee Hurwitz. I got my bachelor's from Virginia Tech in Business Information Technology, and I'm pursuing a career in data analytics, specifically in the criminal justice and forensics field.
Hi everyone, my name is Peter Hughes. I graduated from Virginia Tech in spring 2024 with a bachelor's degree in history, and I'm currently seeking analytical opportunities in healthcare and higher education.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Doody. I was born a few miles away from the Nile in Sudan. I grew up in one of the world's refugee camps in Kenya, and I graduated the bachelor's degree from Harvard. I'm currently looking for opportunities where I can apply my passion and skills for data-driven insights, especially the consulting industry.
Hi everyone, I apologize for not being able to be there with you today. I'm Federico Bruno and I graduated from the University of Parma with a degree in economics. After graduation, I plan to attend a PhD in Big Data and Analytics here in Italy.
Next, we'd like to thank our project sponsors from ValleyStar this year, Mr. Jordan Weatherholtz and Ms. Sarah Elizabeth Yoakum, for their guidance and support throughout this project. We'd also like to thank our faculty advisor, Dr. Alan Wang, for his mentorship and valuable feedback throughout this. And to introduce the work that we've done this year, we'll start with the situation ValleyStar is facing. ValleyStar Credit Union is currently migrating to a new vendor for their online account opening platform. And while this has many exciting opportunities, it also comes with its own set of challenges. Specifically, ValleyStar needed to identify which components of their existing vendor needed to be added, removed, or maintained when migrating to the new vendor. So our team set out to answer the key question of how can we optimize ValleyStar's new online account opening platform to reduce application time and increase approval rates. Next, I'll pass it off to Kaylee to talk about our team's approach and how we do it.
Okay. So to help guide the project, we split our approach up into 3 different steps. First, we conducted research on other credit unions similar to ValleyStar, not just by reviewing their websites and documentation, but also going through their application process ourselves. This gave us a better understanding of how other credit unions design and structure their user experience, which helped us identify best practices and common pain points from an applicant perspective. Using insights from this research, we established benchmarks for the process with the new vendor. We focused on setting target metrics for things like application length and the number of clicks it takes to complete. And finally, we created dashboards displaying the current metrics that will be used to compare to data collected during the new process. This will help ValleyStar identify where they can expect to see the biggest gains in efficiency, applicant completion rates, and the overall user experience. And now I'll pass to Federico to talk about some of our solutions that we came up with.
Thank you, Kaylee. So by approaching the project this way, we were then able to collaborate directly with the sponsor to develop a new application process, one that follows a much more intuitive and user-friendly layout. In particular, the process will now follow a sequential layout instead of a long list of questions all at once, while also having a phone-based ID verification, and which will lead to almost a cut in half of the customer due diligence questions. With these new guidelines in place, ValleyStar will be able to significantly reduce the completion time, bringing it down to around 5 minutes, which was the original goal and is in line with what their best banks and credit unions are able to achieve as of now. The new layout will also introduce features specifically designed to support new customers, helping them complete their application process without confusions and minimizing any chance for them to make any error or incorrect uploads, which currently result in a high number of denials. By doing so, the number of applications denied or abandoned will drop significantly, leading to an increase in number of members. Now, to go a bit more in depth and quantify the impact of the project, we can start by saying the new software will be able to analyze and process a large portion of the information automatically, so that the denied application will filter early and the approved application will require much less employee time thanks to the automation. Both these factors will translate to nearly $50,000 a year worth of labor savings. In addition, the system is projected to increase the number of approved applications by nearly 130%. This means more customers will complete their application successfully, and ValleyStar will spend less time following up or having to deny any incomplete submission. But the most important factor of all will come from the increase in deposits from these new members. So based on the approval growth we just mentioned, even our modest estimate shows that deposits will increase by over $8 million a year. So overall, This project doesn't just simplify the process for users, but it also delivers a real and measurable value for the businesses in terms of efficiency, growth, and revenue. And now we'll pass it on to Duty for our recommendations.
Thank you, Federico. And based on the work we did, here are our key recommendations to ValleyStar. First, we recommend that ValleyStar uses and builds on the Power BI dashboards that we developed to compare and contrast the new and the old vendor process and to track return on investment and performance. Second, we recommend that ValleyStar regularly reviews its current application process to identify areas of improvement and also ensure broader alignment with the business goal. Third, we also recommend that given the changing regulatory and market landscape, that ValleyStar researches and updates its current customer due diligence process. This will not only ensure that ValleyStar remains compliant, but also competitive. And now, I'd like to pass it back to Peter to conclude our presentation.
Thank you, Dee. To conclude our presentation today, we want to leave you all with our most impactful takeaway from this year and the most impactful takeaway shared by many of our peers. That's the need to be open to adapt. No matter how successful you believe that your plan will be at the beginning of your project, the one thing that you 100% can plan on is that unexpected changes will happen, issues will arise. And so our advice to Cohort 10 is to not only grow to be comfortable with change, but push yourself to thrive. Thank you all so much for listening to our presentation, and thank you again to ValleyStar Credit Union for giving us the opportunity to work with you all. We'd love to hear any questions. So the large majority of denials currently are because of ID verification issues. The current vendor allows for any photo submission to be submitted when it asks for an ID. The new vendor will ask for an ID and its software specifically coded to pick up on an actual license and will not let you continue. And so currently 40% of their 80% of their declines are currently ID related. And so we essentially estimated a 40% increase in approvals or number of approvals total. And so overall, it's about 100% in terms of where they were to where they got to.
What challenges did your team face that required you to adapt?
So our deliverable continually changed throughout the year. The new vendor was originally supposed to launch in the middle of January, and then middle of February, middle of March, and you can see how the pattern continues. But we felt that this was a real world example of the things that we'll see outside of the classroom. And so our deliverable became some Power BI graphs as well as some estimations. And so we feel very confident with what we're able to do. Feel that they're set up for success whenever their vendor does launch.